Well, obviously, we're extremely proud to represent the Eastern Division in the championship game, and it's truly an honor to play against Ken, who I consider a friend and a tremendous football coach, a leader of men, and to go against the United States Naval Academy, a place that we have tremendous respect for. This has been an up and down year, but a great year. We had some adversity early in the year. Didn't get off to the start that we wanted, but I think it's a true testament to the character and the discipline and the commitment of the young men on our team, specifically the seniors, that they have overcome injuries, they've overcome the loss of key personnel, they've overcome some losses, and they're playing their best football down the stretch. So we look forward to a tremendous game at Navy and are honored to be involved.
We'll take questions for Coach Matt Rhule, please. Star 1 on your telephone keypad to join the queue, then the operator will introduce you.
We'll take first question from Donald Hunt with the Philadelphia Tribune.
Matt, how you doing?
Good, Donald. How are you, sir?
I'm doing okay. Matt, can you talk a little bit about Adonis Jennings and his contribution to the passing game?
Yeah, he's been a big play threat. I mean, going back to Cincinnati with the long touchdown that he caught, stepped up in the Tulane game, and then stepped up with a start last game. Whether it was the opening kickoff return they took out past the 50, the deep ball he caught a couple screens. He's really developed and matured into a tremendous player. And, with the loss of Ventel, he sort of eased that burden.
Yeah. And just give me your overall thoughts on playing Navy. I know that they're coming off a tremendous season and had a big win on Saturday.
Well, they're a great football team, and they're great in every area. I mean, they're special teams are really well coached. Just the defense does a tremendous job, and offensively, they're one of the most prolific rushing attacks in the country. The quarterback Will Worth is doing a tremendous job. He can throw the football. He's accurate. They're a complete team, and obviously, going to their place presents a challenge. We know that the core will be there, and we've been there before when I was an assistant at Temple. We know that it's a challenging place to play. So it'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a great opportunity for our kids and a great college football game.
Okay. Thanks a lot, man. Really appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And we'll go next to Bill Wagner with the Baltimore Sun Media Group.
Hey, Matt, can you talk a little bit about the way Navy is scoring of late? I mean, 60-some against East Carolina, 75. That's not normally numbers you associate with a methodical triple option offense, but they suddenly developed a quick strike capability to their offense with these long 50-yard runs.
Yeah, they've done a tremendous job, and I think, a lot of the credit, obviously belongs up front. They do a tremendous job on the offensive line, but I give a lot of credit to the quarterback. I mean, he's not afraid to run the football. I think it's like something like 25 touchdowns. Making tremendous decisions, but also making a lot of plays. He's a physical, competitive kid. They're a great offense, and they've done a tremendous job of wearing people down and winning the war of attrition. And that's something that we always sort of pride ourselves on. And, not very often we face other teams that try to run and pound people until they submit. But that's what Navy's done. And that's why they're getting the scores that they're getting.
Coach Niumatalolo had mentioned about the fact that you prepared all preseason for Army. Do you think that time helps you in this game?
Well, we didn't play great, but I think it does to help us understand the scheme. And I think people this year have done a lot of different things. So we're sort of looking at, what people had success with against them this year. But, that time, understanding how the offense runs and looking at the game and seeing the mistakes that we made within, that game, hopefully helps us this week as we prepare for their offense in a short week.
Thanks, Coach.
Yes, sir.
And we'll go to Mark Narducci with the Philadelphia Inquirer.
Matt, you briefly mentioned Ventel Bryan. Is he going to be out this week?
I don't know. Don't know yet. Not sure.
The other thing, you talk about the defending Navy. Has this quarterback surprised you? Has Woolworth surprised you? Because he's a guy that wasn't a starter coming into the season, and he's had this kind of year.
No, nothing surprises me about Navy and what Ken and his offense, does. I mean, they've had quarterback after quarterback after quarterback. They are proficient at what they do. They have a tremendous system, and they coach it really well. So I think Will was a tremendous player, and everything I've seen of him has been extremely impressive. And he's really all I know. I didn't have a chance to see Tago very much early on because we weren't planning on playing them until we got to, to the championship game. So all I really know of them is what I've seen from Will, and he's played tremendous football.
Thank you.
We'll now go to John DiCarlo with Allscoop.com.
Hey, Matt, how you doing?
What's up, John?
Hey, when I was talking to Praise after the game Saturday night and just asked him about what it would be like to play against Navy, he said, honestly, I think it's going to be fun, and a couple of people chuckled because you don't normally associate playing that offense with the word fun, but is that kind of, like, is there something to be said for maybe the fact that the guys are saying, you know what, we didn't play as well against that triple option offense as we did in the opener, and now we have another chance at playing against it. I mean, is there anything to be said for the fact that maybe there's a little bit of redemption here and that these guys as a defense want to challenge themselves to say, yeah, we do want to prove to people that we can play against that offense? Do you think there's, any advantage to that and looking at it that way like he is?
Well, I think anytime you're excited about the opportunity to play, it's a good thing. I don't want to, I hope our team doesn't want to prove anything to any other people. We want to prove it to ourselves. Right. When we, and more importantly than the first game, and the last time we played the Naval Academy and Coach Ken, his fine team, they ran for 487 yards against us. They had 512 yards of offense when they came here and beat us 31-24. So I think all those kids, that played on that field that day, did not like the fact that we got physically beat up. So, but this is about this week, and this is about a chance to go play in a tremendous college football game in a historic place. And obviously the challenge of stopping that offense is significant, and especially since they're scoring 75 and 66 and really playing well. So, but I hope our kids are excited, and I hope they're ready to play. It's a tremendous opportunity.
I mean, if you had to describe to someone who's not that familiar with football why that offense is so hard to stop and what it's about, what would you say? How would you describe it to someone that had never seen it before?
Well, it's really hard because they're really good at it, and it's a system. It's an offense with answers, and no matter what defense you're in, Coach, Jasper, Coach Neil Matalogo, they have answers for it. The quarterback has answers for it. So it's something that they're proficient at. So you try to get ready in 3 days for something that they do 365 days a year, and it also has answers for everything. It has options, and so it's. But I don't want to make it about the offense. It's about their players. It's not. There's lots of teams that have tried to run the triple option that haven't been very good at it. This offense works because it's done by tremendous coaches and by tremendous players, and they do it better than anybody else.
Thanks, Matt.
We'll now go to Sean Pastor with Al's Daily.
Hi, Matt. How are you?
Hey, what's going on, Sean?
Hey, so I'm curious. I think, conventional wisdom when Navy joined the league was that defenses were going to have a hard time figuring out what to do against the option. And then as time passed, they might get better at it. The numbers this year point the opposite way. I wonder why maybe why you think conventional wisdom hasn't proven true.
I think just because Navy's really good at what they do. They have tremendous players, and they're sometimes people think like maybe they're not that big. Their center's 327 pounds. They're doing this with 300-pound offensive linemen. That's something you don't see a ton of people able to do. And they do it. They're big, athletic, and fast guys. So you're right. No one's caught up to it. I think the best in the league. I think maybe Tulane held them to 21 or 28. I can't remember the exact number, but other than the 3-4 teams, the odd teams, no one's really had a chance, really to keep the games very close.
Okay. And second question, I was just hoping you might be able to educate me on your travel squad for this week. I remember last year down at Houston, you kind of traveled with your typical travel squad. I don't know if the rules are any different, and because it's closer, whether you might be able to bring more people down to the game. You have depth issues in some places where I was just curious about that.
In terms of you're saying bring other people?
Yeah, the number of players
or
you can bring. Yeah. Well, the number of players that you can bring,
Yeah, the conference doesn't have a travel squad limit rule, So, we'll take anybody that we think has a chance to play in the game. And then, in terms of taking guys to reward them, we haven't even talked about that yet or anything like that. So, I'm not sure even – I've been kind of locked into the X's and O's part of it and the football part of it. I haven't really got into that with Sean and Pat Kraft and those guys. But, yeah, we'll take anybody we can. But we're Well, by this time of year, most people are a little bit depleted. Everybody, it's sort of all hands on deck. No matter who you're facing or where you're facing them.
Yeah, I don't remember that being you didn't necessarily travel a whole lot of extra people or any extra people, or so it seemed, to Houston last year than you would for a typical road game. I just didn't know if it was a little bit different approach this year.
Yeah, like I said, if we're going to travel list. And then if there's a rewarded thing, I don't know anything from Pat or any of those guys yet.
Thanks.
We'll go next to Christopher Heidel with Herb FM Radio, Baltimore, Maryland.
Hi, Chris, man. How you doing?
Good. How are you, sir?
Doing great. Just talking about Navy. You guys are one of the two new teams that came into this new conference a couple of years ago, and now you guys are playing for the championship. What was it like? What do you guys got to do against Navy? Because I know you play against Army, and Army and Navy had the same offense with that option, and now I think Navy's throwing the football better this year than last year. So what do you guys got to do for Saturday?
We have to play well. We have to play defense as well as we can play it. We have to. Can you hold on one second?
Avery, you got him. I'm doing a conference call. Avery, you got him. I just said it.
Sorry, I'm on a practice field still, guys.
That's okay. That's okay.
I think we just have to play well. We have to play well on offense. We have to run the ball. We have to convert third downs. We're gonna do our best to make this game about us and not about our opponent. We have tremendous respect for them. They do a tremendous job. So the only time when we faced great teams, the only time we've ever had any success is when we just concentrate on being the best Temple Owls that we can be and let the chips fall where they may. But you hit it on the head. I mean, they're running the ball really well. They're throwing the ball really well this year. They're playing good defense. So for us to have a chance, we're just going to have to play our best game that we can play.
I can't remember last year. Did you guys play against Houston in the championship game?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what did you learn from that game that hopefully will help you, be successful on Saturday?
I mean, obviously we were there. We had the experience. It was really tough. With the crowd noise and being on the road for that game. So, obviously going on the road again this year, maybe handling the noise and some of those things. But I think the thing we learned last year was that we didn't like losing, and we were dying to have a chance to get back there and see what we could do this year. So, that's where we are now. But I know Navy wants to win just as much as we want to win, even regardless of what happened to us last year. So, we just know that we have to play well. We have to play as well as we could possibly play and see what see what happens from there.
Well, I hope you have a good practice and I hope everybody's okay there.
Yeah, thank you very, very much. Appreciate that.
Get one more in for Coach Rhule, please.
And we'll go next to Zach Gelb with the Fox Sports 920, The Jersey.
Hey, Coach, how are you?
Good, Zach. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. So you always talk about that story about how when you first met PJ and Jihad, they were talking more about the championship they didn't win compared to the one that they did win in their junior year, not winning it, and their senior year winning it. You have a similar situation here, a chance to do that on Saturday. Just how about that and their competitive nature through their years of the program?
Well, they're just two tremendous, players and people, and PJ got hurt in that last game. A lot of guys wouldn't have continued, but he willed the team, to victory. And so, I mean, it's funny how life comes full circle. Everything happens for a reason. Their college career is mirroring their high school career. Hopefully, we can get the win that they got when they were in high school and they won the state championship their senior year. But this program wouldn't be where it is right now if it wasn't for Philip and Jihad and all of our seniors and everything that they've sacrificed and given to Temple.